Guys, it's finally here. Deadly P2. Something most of us would have never thought will ever come out. Deadly Premonition, if you never played or saw or have seen the first part, man, you gotta check it out. It's such a crazy and unique game. And like, I can't believe they make a second part. What do I expect? I expect really quirky characters talking about movies and really bad running gameplay. That's what I expect. I'm really looking forward to my time with this game. Nintendo did it again after Bayonetta. Those mad lads. Absolute mad lads. We're gonna super skip intro if there's one, because the last one had such spoilers. You can't even believe how much spoilers there were. Oh wow. To save music, yes, English, character aims on, language English, controller. Great. Are there no subtitles? Ah, lol. Well, it looks really good. At least the menu. I'm guessing there will just be subtitles. Nice, there's already screen tearing. Okay, we're already at a crime scene. Where's my boy? Oh, wowee. That's rather rough, girl.
God damn it. What a way to start the new year. At this rate, I'll be dead by Easter.
Quiet down, Agent Jones. You're on the clock.
Quiet down? Ha! You have any idea what you've done? I'd be half naked in Havana right now.
Wow, this runs bad.
Soaking up some rays, surrounded by a harem of bikini queens, a mojito in one hand, and a seafood-slathered Havana-style pizza in the other. What did I do to deserve this? Does God hate me?
No. The Regional Bureau Chief merely issued a special order.
Oh.
Agent Jones, don't let him take control of the conversation. The moment you let your guard down, he'll strike. And no red, remember?
2, 1.
It's open. Come on in.
Francis Jörg Morgan. Does he have the same voice actor? I can't tell. Well, somebody watched True Detective. Get placed.
You have questions for us? That's why you're here, isn't it?
Okay, Zach. Okay. Oh, we can actually walk around in this apartment? Well, not really. We can hang up our coat, which is nice.
Mr. Morgan, before we question you, allow me to first read you your rights. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. Please keep that in mind as you speak.
That's not how it works.
Do we have permission to film this?
Don't worry, my fairy. They're free to do whatever they like.
Something wrong, Mr. Morgan? I'm FBI Special Agent Aaliyah Davis, and this is...
Simon Jones. An analyst from the Boston branch. He's been monitoring us for years now.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Seriously.
A Southern belle and a lonesome loser who can't catch a break. Quite the uncanny duo. You'd be the perfect stars for the latest video game. Isn't that right, my fairy? How many years has it been since someone came to chat with us? Oh, but don't ask me about my fairy. That's a private matter.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to tell what he's thinking, but my eyes can't be deceived. If he's hiding something, it'll come out in his face.
Okay.
Letters of appreciation from the governor and the Department of Justice. They're caked in dust as if he doesn't even care about them.
But he still hung them up, though.
You solved many difficult cases across your career,
Oh, those lip flips go.
utilizing your own unique MO.
Modus operandi.
You've expertly cracked cases that were otherwise thought to be unsolvable. According to our records, after joining the FBI in 2002, You quickly solved 2 drug ring-related kidnapping cases. In 2003, you solved the inside-out flesh skinner case in the suburbs of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
In 2004, the Jeffrey Dahmer wannabe case in Milwaukee. And also the stuffed human collector case in St. Louis that very same year. Then, in 2005, you coincidentally happened to solve the Lise Clarkson murder case while on vacation. You went on to solve many other cases after that, all of them seemingly inexplicable. Did you really solve these cases all on your own? There are no records of you using a wide-scale investigative team or working with anyone else.
Well, that's kinda...
How did you ever accomplish such monumental feats all by yourself?
It was all thanks to our talented partner.
Partner. The FBI files show no record of you ever working with a partner. Do you mean you worked with some sort of unofficial partner or an outside confidant?
Our partner is our partner. We've always worked together. Besides, Belle, you're forgetting one important thing. After the St. Louis case, we stopped by a diner on our way home and caught Thelma and Louise, 2 highly sought-after fugitives. Hey, Belle. Why are you dressed so handsomely?
What are you talking about?
The thick black accessory wrapped around your neck. That's a male necktie. The color black represents confidence and interest in the self, and your decision to wear a male tie symbolizes your declaration of war against a predominantly male society.
Sure.
Or perhaps it's a psychological barrier meant to hide the weakness that dwells deep within your psyche. We admire your bravery.
I thought you retired from profiling.
Bullseye, huh? You're an easy one to read.
In order to think with society, a man must first gouge out his eyes and cut off his ears. Don't judge a book by its cover. For someone who's supposed to have been one of our best, you've got an awful eye for people. Or did all that smoke and kill all your little gray cells?
Okay, Aaliyah, that's enough. She's smart, but she's also more of a shrew than she lets on.
Agent Jones, that's sexual harassment.
So, Belle,
So weird. I love it already.
does that barrier of yours also protect you from violent criminals?
He's more dangerous than I thought. I can't read him. I'll just have to assault him head-on with questions then. First, I'll try using the files on the table to shake him up. Stage 4 progressive malignant tumor. How do humans behave when they know death is just around the corner? And what if that human is also a high-functioning sociopath? An ornate antique chessboard. Looks like he stopped halfway through the game. But who was playing with him? These files are from the case that took place just outside of New Orleans in 2005. The agent who handled the case was Francis Zach Morgan. And now he's sitting right in front of me. Do you remember the homicides that took place in Le Carré, Louisiana in 2005?
We solved that case.
Did you know?
Your report states the following. By coincidence, you encountered a serious incident in a town you visited while on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You then decided to steal the right to investigate from the local law enforcement and took over the case.
Sounds like me, yeah?
After several more homicides, you managed to apprehend the perpetrator.
Yes. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what happened. We stole the right to investigate from them, just as you said.
It all started when the body of a 16-year-old girl was discovered. You arrived in Le Carré immediately after that, didn't you?
We just can't seem to keep ourselves away from dead girls.
Did you really visit that town just to take a vacation?
We don't know. If you already have the report, then we suggest you read it, Belle. Either way, that case is closed.
Closed. You sure about that? Don't you think this puzzle is still missing some crucial pieces?
Whoa.
Come on. No need to beat around the bush with us, Belle.
They found Lise Clarkson's body. It was hidden deep within the Clarkson Food Delivery Services cold storage warehouse.
After 14 years, we finally discovered the body of the very first victim. Do you know what this means? That's why we're here. The first victim in the case he solved, Lise Clarkson. This is a photograph of what she looks like now. How will he react when he sees it? The body that went missing for 14 years was suddenly discovered frozen in a warehouse. This is some kind of message from the victim to us.
Really now?
We're pleased that her body turned up. Deeply pleased.
You claim to have closed this case, but now a lost body suddenly surfaced.
Not so close now.
Aren't you curious about the details?
Body or not, we already solved that case. Lisa's body can't change anything now, and it certainly has nothing to do with us.
I suspect the body was stored there rather than abandoned, due to the unnatural state it was found in. She was found frozen in a storage unit. Therefore, she looks exactly the same as she did when she disappeared. In fact, she's in such good condition that we can even determine the murder weapon and cause of death.
Well, good for you.
Even stranger is how unbelievably beautiful she looks. At first glance, few would guess she was a murder victim at all. She looks more like a piece of art, or a mythological figure from a painting.
This keeps getting better and better.
What is this dialect?
Better and better?
Isn't that right, my fairy? A corpse as beautiful as a goddess. Sounds just like our story. Yes.
That went okay. Now I'm sure that Morgan's hiding something. I may be able to get what I want if we go deeper into the document. That chessboard looks rather old, and you can't even buy those ivory pieces anymore.
Right. They were banned by the CITES Treaty.
That was made in France in the 1900s. We know it's in bad taste, but the weight of the ivory just feels so good in our hand.
You play chess alone?
Is that a crime?
No. But it's a hard game to enjoy when you're all by yourself.
He's probably just replicating famous games. Or trying to solve problems from a chess workbook. Right, Morgan? I may not look it, but I'm actually a bit of a chess nut myself. When I was in school, I used to pore over every issue of Chess Life, the magazine published by the U.S. Chess Federation.
Well, unfortunately, your guess is completely wrong, Agent Jones. He isn't replicating a famous game, nor is he solving workbook problems. There isn't a single chess book to be found in this apartment. And I didn't find any chess-related websites in his internet history. He was simply playing chess. All alone.
So, what's wrong with that, Belle?
I don't understand it. How could a single human being seriously play as both sides?
You just publicly confessed to stealing personal data. Seems like that's a much bigger problem.
Oh no. Everything was done in a perfectly legal manner. We simply happened to intercept a handful of data being sent out from an unknown origin.
Ooh, now she's really trying to scare us. Did you hear that, my fairy? Serious nightmare fuel.
I love it. Okay, come on. The file cases. Let's go deeper, guys.
Isn't there someone else you should have talked to before coming to us? Such as...
We were unable to reach Patricia Clarkson. You look surprised. I thought you already knew. After all, you visited Louisiana last week. We assumed you met with her during your time there.
We haven't been to Louisiana. Not in 14 years.
Is that so?
We've been right here in our apartment this entire time. That man is our witness, aren't you, Simon?
He's right. He didn't even take a single step outside on Christmas Eve, which means that I didn't get to either.
Are you positive about that? I took the liberty of checking some airline records. Last Friday, the name Billy Bishop was listed on a morning flight out of Boston. This is the fake name you used to use as an agent, isn't it?
A mere coincidence.
Yet that's not all. That evening on the same day, a man with a large scar on his forehead allegedly purchased an '89 Cadillac from a small used car lot in Le Carré. He reportedly said he wanted something old, big, and strong.
Okay.
The owner of the car lot felt it was a strange order, so it stuck in his mind.
Our world is filled with mysteries.
That's
And
right.
they always have the most bizarre timing.
Incidentally, on the following day, an identical Cadillac was taken to a scrapyard in Trenton, New Jersey.
You can find that type of car anywhere. Isn't that right, my fairy?
You may be wondering why we decided to unearth all these old files.
Everything happens for a reason.
The moment Lise Clarkson's body was found, we did the best we could to start our own local investigation.
But it's so hot in here. I hate the summer.
But there wasn't much we could actually investigate due to the damage caused by the hurricane.
Then we assume you also questioned everyone who worked in the warehouse.
Sure.
Of course. We questioned all the Clarkson Food Delivery Services employees who staffed the warehouse and its owner, but we still have yet to obtain any key testimonies.
Par for the course with a 14-year-old case, if you ask me.
Not to mention how bad the timing was. Most of the employees were on vacation.
So, you gave up on the investigation and came to see us instead.
Why not?
Remember what happened, my fairy? That warehouse. That man. So incoherent. Such a pain.
Hey, are you talking about the guy who managed the vault where Lisa's body was found? Yeah, I think he started working there in 2005. Remember, Aaliyah? You said he was a pain to deal with, too.
The large man, yes? No need to answer. If you don't want to. I'm sure you've already put him under surveillance. Textbook FBI protocol.
Morgan's right. Everything happens for a reason. Even this messy room. There must be a reason for it. Especially when it comes to those strangely tidy spots. They're practically begging me to question them. DVDs are all over the place. I know that he's a shut-in, but this still seems like way too many for one person. And I've never heard of any of these titles before.
Oh, tell me about your stupid DVDs, please.
A stinking indulgence. And a massive DVD collection. You must live a very comfortable life.
We're retired, remember?
Retired in your 40s. I'm envious.
But who doesn't love movies, Belle?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, that won't do. You should dedicate all the free time you have to watching movies. It's practically an unwritten law.
Eh?
Films guide us. Films are filled with every important life lesson there is.
Is that so?
For example, They Live, 1988, directed by John Carpenter.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That film taught us a valuable lesson.
About some bambos?
Always put on your sunglasses before a fight.
You know, you've got a point. Movies teach us about everything we need to know. I learned about the right way to eat frozen pizza from Cobra. It's one of Stallone's best films. Before that, I wouldn't be caught dead trying to eat frozen pizza. I thought it wasn't fit for human consumption. But that film changed my life.
Simon, that has nothing to do with the film. You're just talking about pizza.
Fuck you, Simon.
This room's a total mess. But certain spots look perfectly clean. Is it just a coincidence? No. There are no coincidences with this man. Mr. Morgan, I found several spots in this room that look strangely clean. Did you tidy up a bit because you knew we were coming?
Those are sanctuaries.
Hmm?
They've existed from the start.
Sanctuaries.
That's right. Sacred places. Hovels for pure souls, if you will.
Were there originally objects in those hovels? Something you didn't want us to see?
The soul's still there. We haven't touched a thing. But we know you can't see anything. Hey, Simon. Don't touch the sanctuary.
Sorry.
That's a sanctuary. Don't ever touch it again. You've been watching us for 4.5 years, and you couldn't even figure that much out.
My bad. It's my first time actually coming inside, you know.
You're earning far more than you deserve then. What were you doing all day in that black Suburban? We thought wiretapping was your specialty. Don't tell me. Crossword puzzles. What do you think, my fairy? 4.5 years. All that time, and what does he have to show for?
Crossword puzzles? No way. Come on, I thought you knew. I'm a Sudoku guy.
Agent Jones.
Oh, right.
He's completely taken control of the conversation. At this rate, we'll never get anywhere. I need to press him some more. Agent Jones. The briefcase isn't even that big. How long does he intend to keep that up? Does he have pizza menus stuffed inside there or something?
Okay.
Agent
My drink
Jones,
is so far away.
did you find the files?
Well, kinda, he did.
Mr. Morgan, do you recognize these files?
Whoa! Ow!
We told you. That's a sanctuary.
Let him go! Assaulting an FBI agent is an obstruction of
told you.
justice!
We told you. Go. Ah! Stay back. Stay back. Sanctuary. Down. Savannah. Ah! 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 Yeah.
Mr. Morgan? I cut my finger with that can opener this morning. I thought I stopped the bleeding, but it seeped through. How could I be so stupid? Everything should be fine now. I'm sorry for being so careless. I made sure to read through your file and learn about your condition. The color red, such an unusual thing to fear. Please, accept my deepest apologies.
I'm sorry too, Morgan. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll never touch one of your sanctuaries ever again. And no more red, either.
This was so badly choreography. It's so great. Thank you, Gabe.
Don't ever touch one again. I told them not to.
Now, may we return to our discussion?
Don't worry. I won't let them touch you.
Strangely enough, this man has a fear of the color red, and I believe that fear is connected to the Greenville case.
Oh, yeah.
Soon after Agent Jones started monitoring him, he was ordered to go through Morgan's trash, but he didn't find anything. Morgan used this machine to cut up everything, from his mail to his supermarket receipts. Then he even went as far as taking out his trash in parts. Here's another empty space. What does the word sanctuary really mean to him? Hovels for pure souls? The files on the serial killings that shocked Washington State in 2010. Officially titled the Greenville case.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought I'd take out files from a case I first heard about on the news. Mr. Morgan, I'd like to ask you some questions about this case now.
We don't want to remember that town.
I'm sorry, but there's no way around this. I remember hearing about this case on the news when I was still a student. A high school girl named Anna Graham was murdered and the FBI stepped in to take over the case.
Yeah.
I also remember it becoming a sprawled investigation due to evidence found in the victim's throat. Is that correct? After that case, you went on sick leave for 2 years. And when you returned, you requested to be switched over to desk work. What happened?
That's a private matter. None of your business, Bill.
Were you traumatized? It's a common problem with prolific agents such as yourself. But there's another possibility that may make more sense.
Really?
Perhaps you simply finished making preparations.
What are you getting at?
Thinking too much about something will always turn it into a problem. The Greenvale case. Don't you think it resembles the Luke Carre case?
Read the report. We have nothing else to say.
I just need one more push. One more thing that can summon up the past. Looks like another old antique. He collects milk cartons but treats valuable antiques like trash. What's going on in his head? A jar of honey with honeycomb inside it. There's nothing strange about it, but it still gives me a weird feeling. The silver clock in that trash pile. Is that an H5?
An H5?
That's right. John Harrison's 5th chronometer. Completed in 1770. After many years, he completed it and presented it to the Board of Longitude in order to end their feud with him. That's only a replica, of course.
You like clocks?
Clocks are amazing. Prime fruit of the human race's intellect. We took the invisible idea of time and manifested it in these.
Yeah, I love clocks too. Absolutely fascinating.
I disagree.
Oh? Why?
Time is valuable precisely because it can't be seen. Yet nowadays people can't tell what time it is unless it's measured in numbers. Talk about idiocy. I don't mean to side with the Board of Longitude, but remember, humans used to cross oceans with the stars alone. We have our eyes to read moon charts and study the sky. We don't need clocks.
What if it's cloudy or storming?
All you need is courage and a love for adventure.
Oh god, yeah. Sure, Bill.
Hear that, my fairy? Courage and a love for adventure? Come on, Belle. Surely you know how many lives have been claimed by your pals' courage and adventure.
Hey, hold on a second here. That Board of Longitude thing. What the heck is that? I mean, I've heard of it before. I'm an FBI analyst, remember? I just sorta can't remember it right now. I know what it is, really. I'm telling the truth. Come on, Aaliyah, back me up here. Aaliyah?
That's royal jelly.
Huh?
You were staring at the jar, weren't you? Do you find it strange that there's honeycomb inside? We wanted to harvest royal jelly in its most natural state.
What is royal
The
jelly?
queen's main food source, created from the worker bee's secretions. It's a perfect food, filled with power, meant to fuel the birth of the next queen. By absorbing it into our own bodies, we too can acquire that power. Incidentally, did you know that all the worker bees are female?
No.
Guess they didn't teach you that at Quantico. Male bees are only born to inseminate, and they're born from unfertilized eggs to boot. They have short lives and don't even get stingers. Sort of feels like a glimpse into the future of our society, wouldn't you agree?
Deep, man, deep.
Women are gifted with the power to conceive, give birth, and nourish their children. But men are consumed with the job of providing women with the chance to do so. If women no longer had to rely on men for the seeds of life, they would soon cease to desire them, we believe. Be careful, Simon.
Huh? Of what?
Your Belle's already stolen the reins from you.
Mr. Morgan, please look at this.
What did we just say? We don't want to remember Greenvale.
This isn't a photo from Greenvale. Look closely at it. Former Special Agent Francis Zach Morgan. This photograph predates Greenvale. It's from the Le Carre case you worked on in 2005.
Red tree. Red tree.
Yes. A red tree. Greenvale wasn't the first place you saw one of these. The Greenvale case and the Lise Clarkson murder case. They're connected by these red trees, aren't they?
Red trees. Both places. Growing. Roots.
Answer me. What are these trees?
What are these trees? Yeah.
Red trees.
I want the truth. Tell me everything you know.
The red trees. You really did your homework. Well done, Belle. You're good. Damn good.
Are you ready to talk now? I want to know what went down in Le Carre in 2005.
Fine. We'll tell you. We'll tell you what happened in that town. Yes, it was that red tree. That red tree ruined my life. It was a sultry summer day. The sun comes down hard on you in the south, like a torrential downpour of demonic whispers.
Wow, that's a nice line.
It all started back in that sweltering summer. We still had our best friend with us back then. The other me. My better half.
Yuck. Please play Life is Beautiful. This is just True Detective, my dude.
Never a choice. When somebody needs you, you can't turn away. You're their only life.
That's very.
Just a hero, a bullet for hire, working alone.
I too love True Detective.
A cry in the darkness, an echo of pain. That's been long forgotten, but it haunts me.
Oh god, dude.
To be alone. There's a time when you see life for what it's gotta be. You should know they'll destroy you. A call to make, to keep searching, walk alone.
Yeah, it is directed by Swery. Whoa. Wowie wow. I love that.
Zack. Zack. Can you hear me, Zack? There you are, Zack. Sleeping again? Well, rise and shine. It's time for us to head back out into the chaos. Isn't that right, Zack?
I'm gonna tweet now. Guys, Swery never watched True Detective. Wowie wowie. Okay. Deadly Premonition 2. A blessing in disguise. Looks like shit, yeah. Louisiana. What is he eating?
Zack, it looks like she wants us to join her for breakfast. Perhaps this town's finally starting to warm up to us. Look at that, Zack. She's welcoming us with open arms. She's even willing to share that tasty morsel with us. What an honor.
Hurry up and chow down, mister. Unless you like your breakfast stale.
What an amazing place. I've been on top of the moon since the moment I got here. And the name of this wonderful town, Le Carré, sounds like French to me. But what does it mean?
Does it mean?
I'm the chef, David. If you want to know about the town, you'd better ask the concierge. Only amateur chefs flap their gums about stuff that ain't food related.
Did you hear that, Zack? He's a true professional.
You say something, mister?
No, not to you. I was just talking to Zack.
Zack?
Please don't ask me about Zack. It's a private matter.
If you say so, still. Never thought the FBI would ever come out to a little old town like ours.
I do work for the FBI, but I didn't come here for an investigation. I just happened to stop by on my way to New Orleans.
Never thought there'd be a murder out here either. And it was a 16-year-old kid. Now, I tell you, this country's seen better days. What you reckon, mister?
Zach, he's definitely a professional, but it seems like he's also a bit lonesome. That's good. Ambivalence exists everywhere.
Folks say the killer used an axe. Hell of an old-fashioned choice, if you ask me.
Actually, Chef David, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the incident.
But shoot, I ain't the one you ought to be asking, Mr. FBI. I only heard what I heard. But seeing as you're fixing to grill me, I can tell you what I know.
Please do. I appreciate it.
What do you know about the victim?
You said the victim was a 16-year-old. Did you know her?
Well, sure. I reckon the whole town did.
Meaning?
She's Lise Clarkson, the little grandbaby of the Clarkson family.
The Clarkson family?
That's right. You ain't seen they sign on your way in here? The one above that huge cold storage complex. Should have had a dragonfly on it.
Okay.
Anyway, that's the Clarkson family seal. They own most of the land around here, from the sugar plantations right down to the food processing plant. Yeah, I reckon they got a stake in just about everything. They even own the water tower on the edge of town, you know. They're the ones who built up this town, and they still support it.
Where's the Clarkson's house?
What do you know about the Clarkson's house?
Now, I ain't got nothing bad to say, but I'm gonna talk straight to you. You best steer clear of that place. That family ain't just some gang. They're a whole different kind of beast. They folks with real power. Remnants of the good old boys who shaped America in the early days. Especially the head of the family, P.J. Clarkson. He's the kind of monster who goes around eating other monsters. And I'm sure he's on edge now with his granddaughter getting murdered and all. So don't go barging in with that shiny FBI badge of yours and think you'll be safe for nothing. Things are different down here. So if you plan on sticking around, you best remember that.
I see. I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, what is the local law enforcement doing?
Is the local law enforcement investigating the case?
Shoot, mister, what you think? Now, I told you this ain't no city. We in the bonafide boondocks here. They got to know how to break up fights and keep folks from killing each other when they pissed you off. They sit down and talk it out with you heart to heart. And when that don't work, they just beat your ass. That's the Deep South for you.
That's America for you.
This murder ain't like that, though. A little kid got killed. A weird way. Like something on a TV show. The sheriff's department ain't never seen nothing like this.
Well, what do you know about New Orleans?
Live and Let Die, Angel Heart, and The Pelican Brief, right? 9 out of 10 people will name those titles when you ask them to think of a film set in New Orleans. They're all excellent movies, but to me they lack realism. Due to my line of work, I have a tendency to think deeply about what feels real and what doesn't.
What's your point?
Cat people. That's my point. Cat people. 1982, directed by Paul Schrader.
Okay.
The crowning achievement of Nastasia Kinski, the ultimate muse of the 80s. The most vital element of that movie is the reality it depicts.
Yes?
Leopards who turn into humans have intercourse with humans and turn back into leopards.
Okay.
Then they can only turn back into humans again if they mutilate their lovers.
Oh.
I was awestruck by the sheer reality of it all. Understand? I'm talking about hyper-realism. After watching it, I felt like I just had to experience the world of cat people for myself. That's why I decided to visit New Orleans.
Okay.
Another vital element of cat people is the presence of Malcolm McDowell. Malcolm McDowell from Blue Thunder. Oh, talk about a masterpiece. Listen carefully, David. Only an amateur would call A Clockwork Orange his best movie. His best movies are Cat People and Blue Thunder. Period. You need to remember this. because it's the truth.
A Clockwork Orange, what a piece of shit.
Whatever you say, mister. So, what's your point again?
Never mind, don't worry about it. I already covered all the important parts.
He just wanted to talk about the obscure movies he liked. So nice, it's like Swery and Kojima. They're like, fucking Clockwork Orange? Piece of shit. Everybody can analyze that. You need to watch Cat People and Blue Thunder. It was a bizarre murder?
When you say it was like something from a TV show, what
God
exactly
damn
do you
it.
mean?
Hey, mister. Why do you look so excited, huh? Like a kid asking grandma to read him a fairy tale.
I just can't seem to keep myself away from young women who died in bizarre ways.
Well, I ain't seen it with my own eyes, but folks say they found the body hanging under a bridge on the bayou. And under that bridge, there was some kind of altar.
An altar?
Like something they use in black magic. Something horrible.
Voodoo?
Nah, wasn't nothing like that. Just a weird altar.
That's all?
Oh, and the body was all cut up in pieces. Scattered around the altar like.
So she was sacrificed.
That's what the fella who discovered her said, yeah.
Bingo, Zach.
Bingo.
This case has got our names all over it.
Well, how do I get around town?
By the way, Mr. FBI, I ain't seen a car in the parking lot. How'd you get all the way out here, huh? Don't tell me you walked.
Well, that's a very good question. Chef David, you've got a sharp eye. It's true that I didn't park my car in your parking lot. Do you know why?
Nah.
Can't say I do.
Because it was stolen.
Huh? But you with the FBI, right?
Even FBI cars can be stolen. It could happen after you park your car on the side of the road and go off to do some legwork. When you're eating lunch, when you're watching a movie, when you're asleep at night, when you're buying cigarettes at the local supermarket. Your car can be stolen anywhere. That's precisely what it means to be an FBI agent.
That's what it means?
In my case, my car was stolen while I was on my way down here. But no need to worry. I already reported it to the local authorities. And I've also already acquired another mode of
Please
transportation.
tell me he rides a bike.
Another mode?
Want to hear the details?
Not really, but I'll listen if you want me to.
Then please do. After I finished my work in Houston, I flew to New Orleans. Then, I rented a car at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I visit the West Coast, I always rent a convertible, especially in California. But now I'm in hot and sticky Louisiana, so I decided on a brand new hybrid car with a fully equipped air conditioning system.
Okay.
A hybrid car.
Oh yes, they're marvelous. Vehicles that utterly defy everything you think you know about cars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the year 2005, it feels like we've finally entered the 21st century. Stomp down on the gas all you want. The engine won't make a sound.
It's silent?
At first, I felt like the landscape was moving past me on its own. Give it a few more years, and I'm sure we'll start seeing cars that run purely on electricity. Who knows? In a decade or so, electric sports cars may end up lining the parking lots of Silicon Valley.
Well, I guess Elon Musk is doing that.
I can see it now. It's the world of The Last Starfighter, 1984, directed by Nick Castle. It's famous for being the first film to utilize realistic CG, but I couldn't care less about that. See, I was mesmerized by the beautifully refined mech designs. It even made me wish that I could be one of them myself, especially the Gunstar spacecraft. No other sci-fi movie has ever had...
So, where'd your hybrid car get stolen?
Sorry, I got off topic. I noticed it was missing after I finished my lunch and walked out of the diner. Incidentally, this diner was located at the entrance to a small town just south off the I-10. I went out to get back in it, but my hybrid car was nowhere to be found.
Oh no.
I remembered exactly where I parked it, right between a blue pickup truck and a hedgerow. But when I came back from lunch, it had completely vanished. In short, someone stole it, and in its place, they left me this.
He skateboards around town.
A skateboard.
A skateboard?
Yes. While I was sliding my lunch into my stomach, someone was busy replacing my brand new hybrid car with a wooden board attached to 4 wheels. Remarkable, don't you think?
So then how did you get here?
By riding the skateboard, obviously. Why do
Obviously.
you look so surprised? No, I couldn't ride the board very well at first. But by the time I hit the 3-mile mark, I'd more or less gotten the hang of it. By the 10-mile mark, I'd even learned to do a few tricks. It was a journey of self-discovery.
Fuck.
Not even I knew I had this latent talent sleeping inside me.
This summer's gonna be another hot one. It's supposed to get over 95 today. Watch out you don't go getting heat stroke.
The Lise Clarkson case needs us. Don't you think so, Zach? The cat people are what guided us to New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
We should be thanking Malcolm McDowell. Once we get home, let's watch Blue Thunder again. I'm already looking forward to it. Aren't you, Zach? Zach. The searing light. These scents. It's the deep sound. That was a fabulous breakfast. You're the world's greatest chef.
Wait, mister. You didn't take a single bite.
Well, the tea was to die for. But I'd prefer coffee next time. What would a morning be without coffee?
Mm-hmm. What is in the coffee, York? Oh, wow. Casa Pineapple, York's room. Inventory channel data. Okay, we have 600 bucks. Can buy a cup of coffee, black coffee. The root beer. Well, let's buy a black coffee. Wait, you can. Wow. What is that? so surreal to be playing this game in 2020. Okay, you know the real people. Let's review the case. Wait, that's my room? Nice.
Sang Rouge. We're chasing it all over America. But I feel like we're finally on the verge of finding something now. Don't you, Zach? I think it's about time we ordered a new briefcase. Yes, I know this one carries a lot of memories, but it's seen too much. This hole's from the shootout in Tucson. And this stains from Miami. Miami. Now that was a fascinating case. Billy, our perp, cut his own torso right in two.
Really, he did?
Even with the help of the drugs. A feat like that still requires incredible mental fortitude.
Okay.
I was so impressed that I forgot I'd left my briefcase on the floor. Same floor his blood gushed out onto. I know, Zach, I know. Now isn't the time for a trip down memory lane. An emergent drug that's been on the rise in 4 southern states. Personally, I think it originated right here in Louisiana, and Lise Clarkson's murder must be connected to it somehow. The 16-year-old girl who was murdered, her body was found beneath a bridge over the bayou, along with a strange altar. The powerful man who essentially controls the town of Lucare, and he seems to be more fearsome than your average gangster. I doubt he'll be willing to cooperate with any law enforcement, Zach.
Yay.
You know, I keep thinking about that movie we stopped to see on our way here, Zach.
Uh-huh.
The Island, 2005, directed by Michael Bay.
Okay, here we go.
For a movie being shown at a cinema complex, it was surprisingly artistic.
Uh-huh.
An experimental setting mixed with hard-hitting drama. It was art house sci-fi. That director's going to change the history of art house films.
What?
Are you following me here? This is another special film that's setting a new standard, just like Star Wars and Blade Runner did.
I don't think so.
This is a turning point, Zach. You may be witnessing the birth of a vital new word that will soon become a part of film history. Yes, this single movie may be responsible for creating a whole new genre several years down the line. A genre known as island movies. I sure like the sound of that. Don't you, Zach?
Huh?
I'm very satisfied with the decorations and the size of this closet, Zach. And it's even got a security box. It's proof that we're still safely inside the fringes of modern civilization.
Okay then. That's a bit worrying. But sure. Let's just not talk about it. Okay, I think I checked everything out. Almost. Okay, we can save now. That's okay, because I also kinda need a break. Wow, this game. Whew. I'll be right back, guys. Probably play like another hour of it. Because I really want to like enjoy this game. Okay, guys, we got some time. At least like 10 minutes. I got no stamps. Wow. Just cut off.
Hey there, chef. What's cooking?
Chef, what are you talking about, sir? I'm the concierge, David. I just heard from our chef that you wish to learn the meaning behind our town's name.
Yes, I've gathered that Le Carré is French, but does it have any special meaning?
Why, yes, sir, of course it does. A very clear, logical meaning. All names have meanings. Would you like to know what this one means?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Jolly good, sir. Then allow me to explain. Le Carré means square in French.
Ah. And?
That's it.
That's it?
Yes, that's it, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Do take a gander at the town map in the lobby if it fancies you. It's beautiful, valuable, and old. I'm sure you'll understand once you see it. Now, please excuse me, sir. If you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to ask.
Did you see that, Zach? That was clearly David. Not a twin, not a split personality, just the work of a true professional. It's bizarre, but I can understand it. Remember what they say, the job makes the man.
Okay. Check out the old map, we can do that. Like, I'm not even questioning that he plays like two guys in his own hotel. Why not?
Do you feel that, Zach?
I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs.
Dozens of paintings no one will ever see. The faint scent of tobacco baked into these walls for over a century. Now that's what I call a hotel. Zach, can you see him? His fashion sense is beyond me, but he appears to be a gentleman. Perhaps we should talk to him.
Oh yeah, we should.
Nice tie. Did you buy it here?
It's been a long time since someone spoke to me. No one these days ever tries to see me.
They can see what's far in the distance, but are blind to what's in front of them. No. Maybe they're only pretending not to see. That's what civilized society does to people.
Exactly. Ever since mankind got their hands on civilization, they zoomed away at a frightening speed.
Zoomed away from what?
Don't be a fool. You know the answer. As for me, just call me Hoongan.
Hoongan. The title given to a leader in a certain religion. Is that what you are?
Do you comprehend?
The Oracle. Put on your religion hat, Zach. Here we go.
Fell 10 maidens in the shrine of hunger. Find the flying serpent in the ambiguous zero. Dance with the flying serpent, and you will glimpse the other world.
10 maidens and an ambiguous zero. Got it. But what do you mean by otherworld?
Follow the Oracle.
Zach, did you hear all that? Looks like we've already taken our first step into chaos.
Yeah.
But such is our duty. We need to accept the chaos, let it inside, then carefully dismantle it piece by piece. And after we've put all the pieces back into their rightful places, the truth will reveal itself. Let's capture the truth and present it with a shiny pair of silver bracelets, Zach.
Absolutely, York. Another phone. Lollipop, butter cookie, donut.
Zach, here's another perfect symbol of the human condition. Hunting trophies. And it's a buffalo hunting trophy. Now that's a surprise. I've seen several trophies made out of human skin, but never a buffalo's. Looking at him brings out this strange feeling from within me. Yes, the very same feeling I got when watching a certain film from 1984, directed by Peter Hyams.
Yeah?
2010. The last scene in that film filled me with such a sublime, majestic feeling. It was filled with everything that was missing from the finale of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Go on!
Just talking about it makes me want to watch it again. Let's watch it once we get home. Promise, Zach.
Yeah, most people say that the finale of 2001 is like, there's missing something.
Zach, this is Lucare. I think I'm finally starting to understand what our concierge was trying to say. You can tell this town was built by a very methodical person. No, wait. Maybe they just didn't care, and that's why it ended up this way. It's just another symbol of mankind's obsession with molding nature to fit our own rules. Zach, what did you think of Hungun's Oracle? Despite all the dramatic build-up, it's little more than a childish riddle. Heartwarming, really. Exactly the kind of feeling one gets from the good old-fashioned countryside. Now let's start by tracking down those 10 maidens. The Oracle gave us a place and an act. We need to go to the Shrine of Hunger and fell 10 maidens. Now where in this town can one satiate their hunger? The hotel, and where? And the 10 things that need to be knocked down. Simple, right? Alexis's Diner and Lane. This is it, Zach. There are even pins and a bowling ball on the sign. I bet we'll be able to eat some Cajun cuisine and bowl there. Maybe even both at the same time. Nice job, Zach. I knew you'd be able to find it.
Okay.
Now for the other Oracle. There's no flying serpent on this map. Could it be a contrail or perhaps a dragon? I'm sure we'll find out later. First, let's just figure out where we need to go. Do you know what the ambiguous 0 represents? 0 is usually treated as a base number. But under what conditions would a base number be ambiguous? The answer is temperature, Zach. Yes. 0 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 17.7 degrees. The Clarkson Food Delivery Service's cold storage warehouse.
It just tells me.
That's got to be it. Even with this blazing sun in the sky, they can easily keep the temperature below freezing. Be honest now, Zach. You knew the answer from the very start, didn't you?
Okay.
And how about that Hoongan? What a mysterious character. His oracles may end up determining how much time we spend in this town.
Sorry, boss, but this is a smoke-free hotel. If you're dying to smoke, head out the entrance and you'll find a smoking area in the rear parking lot.
Don't tell me. You're the
At
bellboy.
your service, boss.
Are you good friends with the concierge and the chef?
We work at the same place, yeah. But, I can't really say whether we're good friends with each other. We're all professionals, though. Nothing more, nothing less.
I believe we've struck gold here, Zach. It just screams Deep South. Actually, no, it doesn't. This is all his charm. So, if I want to smoke, I should go out the entrance and around to the rear parking lot?
Bada bing, bada boom.
Okay. I'll play by your rules.
Bada bing, bada boom. Okay guys, let's go. I'm ready. I'm super ready. Wait. There was a conflict, but probably the same things that were in the menu. Wow, I thought the game crashed.
compared to non-smokers, smokers have a 4.7 times greater chance of getting lung disease. You know that means it's more likely than getting asbestos poisoning?
The risk of death from lung cancer is actually much lower than what you think it is. In fact, it's tiny when compared to heart disease, strokes, and pneumonia. We're always surrounded by easy ways to die, you know. Some people even get randomly struck by lightning and die right there on the spot.
Then I reckon you also know that secondhand smokers have 1.3 times greater the risk compared to smokers?
Of course.
So you won't mind paying the damages when I die of lung disease? How about writing that in a contract for me? You got a pen, right? I promise to protect you from all the evil in our world. Well, that's stupid. By the way, what's your name?
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, just call me York.
That's what everyone
calls me.
Is something wrong with you? Adults ain't supposed to act like that. I only asked for your name so I can write it on the contract. You should have been able to figure that out if you're a real FBI agent like you said. Come on, sign here. Right here on the paper.
Just as I thought, Zach. This contract paper, it's a Sang Rouge wrapper. Sang Rouge is here, too. This must mean that Sang Rouge is connected to the Lise Clarkson murder case somehow. This is a sprawling case that spread across the entire South. It's within our jurisdiction, Zach. We'll need to steal the right to investigate from the local authorities at once. By the way, miss, what's your name?
Patricia Woods. But I gotta write my name myself, or else it won't be a real signature.
Tell me, Patricia, does this town have a sheriff? Or is it under the jurisdiction of the nearest city police?
Perfect timing. Well, go on and steal it if you want it. I was just thinking about how this is way out of my daddy's league.
Thank you for the information, Patricia. Okay, Zach, it's time to get to work. How should we seize control from the sheriff this time?
Can't you just do that as an FBI agent? Oh god, this runs like shit, yeah.
Hey there. So, you're the fella from the FBI I've been hearing so much about.
Yeah, Melvin.
I'm Melvin. They call me the sheriff round here.
Mm-hmm.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan?
Call me York.
But call me York if you can. That's what everyone calls me.
Huh? Well, all right. Mr. York. How's that sound?
Fine by me.
I'm sure you figured this out, but our town's a small one. Yeah, folks are already busy spreading gossip about how some FBI agents come to town. Now, I reckon you came from the city.
Yeah.
What was it? D.C., L.A., or New York? Anywho, in the city, it's normal not to know who your neighbor is. Fella who moves in next to you could cook up a dozen folks in his backyard and no one would bat an eye. That's the city for you. Now, I never lived in one myself, but I visited them a few times, so I know what it's like. All pigs must die in the city of wolves. Yeah! Now, does that sound badass or what? I bet you'd... Hey! I know, CLG. I'm just trying to make a little small talk, that's all. Anywho, round these parts, everyone knows each other's name. So lots of folks get leery when they see an étranger like you.
Ooh,
And since
étranger.
it's my duty to protect the town, I thought I'd stop by and say hello.
Zach, it looks like this sheriff is quite the happy-go-lucky type. A clear indication of just how peaceful this town is. Melvin, about the Lise Clarkson case.
I knew you were here for that case. Can't put one past the FBI. So they even got eyes on the smallest of towns like us, huh? Our world is filled with information, and it's all within their grasp. FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
The Lise Clarkson case is connected to a top-secret case that we've...
I know. If you're fixing to take the lead, then go right ahead. I'm just the humble sheriff of a tiny little town. My jobs are to stop my neighbors from beating the piss out of each other and listen to old folks complain. Honestly, this whole murder case has been weighing me down. So I'm gonna give you my full cooperation.
Okay.
Mr. Special Agent, sir.
This is just a Will Smith type of guy.
Well, Zach, that was anticlimactic. I didn't even get to use my secret weapon. Melvin, there's a cold storage warehouse on the southern end of town, isn't there? I'd like to get permission to enter it.
Say what?
You want to see where the body's being kept, right?
Oh, I get it now. Lisa's body, yeah. Now, that's what I call a special agent. You already figured that much out. But, I'm not too sure that,
I'm allowed?
going down there at this point is really gonna help much, you know?
Explain it yourself, Daddy.
That's incredible. I don't believe this. Amazing. Did you hear that, Zach? They put the body in a cold storage warehouse. This is fantastic. Insanely fantastic.
Really? Well, how about that? Well, all right then. I'll head on down to the warehouse ahead of you and make sure we get permission to search it.
Sounds good.
The management company only keeps the warehouse open during certain hours, so you'll have to come during those hours. I ain't looking to create any further disturbances. So be on time. Got it? Come on, let's roll, CLG.
I'm gonna walk home, Daddy. I still got another stop to make.
Oh, if you say so, sweetie. She's a real sharp one, as you can see, so I try to stay out of her way. Well, all right then, York. I'll see you at the warehouse.
Sure. Let's go. This is the stupidest it's ever been. Freaking love it.
Hey, you.
Yeah?
You ain't secretly cutting kids up and sticking them into jars while you work as an FBI agent on the surface, are you? Or using your FBI connections to sell kids to child trafficking organizations?
I've arrested people who've done both, but I've never engaged in either of those activities. Of course, I have imagined doing such things in order to learn more about the psychology of the criminals I deal with.
It was just a joke. Why are you getting all serious? And don't tell me what you imagine, or else I'll get scared of you for real. Hey, can I come with you? You signed a contract with me, remember? And besides, I'm kind of worried about my daddy.
Do whatever you like. This is America, land of the free. But I have one condition.
What condition?
Don't ask me about Zach. It's a private matter. Zach, it feels like she's carrying something with her. Kind of reminds me of you back when we first met. I can't leave her alone like this. You feel the same way, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Zach, Melvin called you a strange name. CLG, I think. What exactly does that mean?
Clever.
So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him. Hungan. Is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of either? Still too early to tell, but it's clear that he'll be the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. That's what my soul tells me. By the way, Zach, Hungan feels very familiar to me. You might even say he reminds me of someone. Yes, I think I see the connection now. A cheerful, wise, yet also mysterious African-American who appeared in a variety of different films. My mind must be overlapping him with the skeleton gentleman. Do you remember his name? Ah, yes, that's it. Scatman Crothers. In 1980, he played Dick Halloran in The Shining. And in 1983, he was in The Twilight Zone. He played the man who invited all those elderly folks into a strange new world. I knew it, Zach. There's definitely a connection here.
What about the
But
squirrels?
he's a bit too old. Scatman's more of a sage character. Our skeletal gentleman is a little younger, isn't he? Yes. They have different body types, but what about Forrest Whitaker? He made his debut in 1982 in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Then he was in Platoon and The Color of Money, both released in 1986, followed by Good Morning Vietnam in 1987. Oh, he was in Bird in 1988. An impressive filmography. Across the 80s, he transformed his rough, young image into a more cheerful, wiser one. That's why the 80s can also be described as the decade that built up Forrest Whitaker's career. I firmly believe that he'll win an Academy Award for Best Actor someday. Yes, I'm sure it's right around the corner. He'll most likely wait until the time is right. Maybe around next year. Then he'll unleash his best performance yet. So I could go on about famous actors forever, but we have a case to solve here. Let's table this discussion for now.
Yeah, this is the kind of game I want to play in 2020.
Did you notice it? The streets in New Orleans were a mess. All busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of places where large tree roots were pushing up parts of the asphalt on the sidewalk. Those bumps were dangerous even when we still had our car, remember? But this town is different. The streets are all paved so cleanly that we can skate along them without a care in the world. And there's hardly any trash or graffiti to be found anywhere. The Clarksons truly do control this place, for better or worse. It's a good example of how allowing certain people to rise to power can have positive effects as well. Also, don't you find that Southern people are remarkably friendly, even to total strangers? Both here and in New Orleans, I've been amazed at how cordial everyone is. Is it just the way things are down here? You certainly don't see that sort of thing in New York or D.C. They never stop to chit-chat, especially when ordering food. They only say what's necessary, without any decoration. A customer only makes eye contact with the waiter about once every 3 times they interact. But that's just how it is. Isn't that right, Zach? The human relationships here are as fluid as an inorganic mechanism running on the smoothest, purest oil there is. And it feels strangely comfortable. After spending time in New Orleans and coming here, I think I'm starting to like this southern disposition. They even have their own breed of bizarre crimes. And besides, the New Orleans area is famous for its paranormal culture. I'm sure it'll entertain us somehow. It's still a bit of a ways off, but Perhaps we can also do a little case study for our post-retirement plan. What, you still think it's too early for that? I wouldn't say so. It's never too early to be prepared. Come on, I know you're with me on this one, Zach.
Uh-huh. Let's save the game before he tells me another griping story.
Mr. York, that was mighty quick.
Thanks.
The special agent does it again. You sure don't waste any time. I bet my CLG's got a lot to learn from you. By the way, Mr. York, looks to me like you aren't packing anything.
I was on vacation in New Orleans before I happened to stop by here.
Well, shoot, that won't do. Here, I got something I think you'll like. I call him Mr. Alligator. Badass, ain't he? It's a tranquilizer gun for the gators. And here's a radio. With this, you won't have to worry about any expensive roaming fees. Might take you a while to get used to them, but you'll get it. Try letting them rip a few times. Ain't no need to hold back out here.
Okay. I wonder how this will control. Oh, crazy. God, the frames are just...
Now this is an intriguing weapon. For a tranquilizer gun, it really packs a punch. But I'm afraid I'll decline. After all, this town is peaceful, isn't it?
Well, sure it's peaceful. At least the humans are. But the animals are a different story. Remember what I named it? There are some real mean-ass gators out there in the swamps. And every now and then, they wander into town. One of them even went and ate a kid once. It happened a long time ago, but still, one chomp's all it takes. They swallow down every last bit of you. Poor kid's parents didn't even know what to put in his coffin. The worst part is, that taught the gators just how tasty we humans are. So now, those suckers just attack on sight.
Sure.
Man-eating crocodiles will feast tonight. In Blood Swamp!
You know he's fibbing, right? Gators don't attack folks. I never heard about no kid getting swallowed by a gator.
Actually, Patricia, you're wrong.
I'm what?
Alligators do attack people, and it could happen in any town.
Huh?
Alligator, 1980. Directed by Louis Teague. It takes place in the Midwest, I believe. A teenage girl's pet alligator gets flushed down the toilet. Then, in the sewer, it feeds on the corpses of dogs that were used as test subjects for an experimental growth formula. After growing over 30 feet, it finally starts to go after humans. It's an extremely edifying movie. Back when I first saw it, I had a pet hamster.
Hey, Agent York. What's your first order of business? You're in charge now, remember?
Well said, Patricia. I nearly lost sight of my true goal. Melvin, I couldn't help but notice the name on the side of that truck. This facility is connected to the victim, isn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah, I reckon I better start from there. I'm gonna tell it to you straight right from the beginning, Mr. York. As you guessed, this warehouse is run by the Clarkson. The victim's father, Danny Clarkson, is the one who manages the whole place. Okay, but why did he choose to store her body in his own warehouse, right? Well, that's because there ain't no other place to store it. Our town has a clinic inside a church, but no morgue. Whenever someone kicks the bucket, we just bury him in the graveyard right outside of town. But not this time. We got a murder on our hands this time. We need to give Lisa's body an autopsy and keep it stored, right? So we had no choice but to rent out a corner of this warehouse.
I see. So that's what led to the ingenious choice to store the victim's body in a facility that her family owns.
Anywho, this is where the real story begins.
Really?
Truth is, a few days before you got here, Lisa's body went missing.
Missing?
Yeah. All of a sudden, poof.
Did you leave the warehouse unlocked?
I most certainly did not. I locked the whole place up and made sure no one could get inside. No one stole the original key, and I couldn't find any fingerprints at the scene.
So, in other words, this is a locked room mystery.
The body of a beautiful young girl walks at mid... Hey! All right, CLG. Reckon I should have told you about this earlier when you first said you wanted to come here. It just didn't seem like the time or place as I remember. Anywho, how about we call it a day and head back to my office? You can go through all the files there.
No, thank you. This is what I came to investigate.
But Lisa's body isn't here anymore. You sure?
That doesn't bother me one bit, Melvin. You see, I met a skeletal gentleman on my way here, and he was kind enough to give me an oracle. By the way, Patty, what do you usually do when you're at home?
Is this an interrogation?
Oh, no. I just figured that since we're working together now, it'd be a good idea to learn a little more about you.
Should an adult male like you really be asking a little girl this kind of question? I feel like I heard a story about this sort of thing on the news once.
There's a time and a place for everything. You know exactly who I am, and I've also introduced myself to your father. Besides, you're the one who said you wanted to come with me.
I was just kidding, jeez. You're an FBI special agent. Why would I ever need to worry?
You shouldn't automatically trust someone just because they're an FBI special agent. One's profession and one's personality are completely separate things. For example, one special agent may fall spiritually in love with a genius criminal who enjoys the taste of human flesh.
That's Hannibal. You pulled that straight out of a movie.
Just because it's a film doesn't mean it isn't deeply rooted in reality. You can't judge people solely based on where they work or how they look. You need to think hard and decide things for yourself.
Fine.
So allow me to ask you this. How do you feel about me?
I don't know. I only just met you.
Exactly. Now it sounds like you're thinking. You should never feel the need to force an answer out or pretend like you know something you don't. Zach, she's a good kid, isn't she? Honest and straightforward.
Oh, wait, there's one thing I can say.
Oh. What?
When you talk to yourself like that, it really creeps me out. Did you start doing that after you became an adult? Or have you just always done it? Either way, you should stop doing it. It's really weird and, makes me wince whenever I hear it.
Ooh. Zach, did you hear that? No need to worry. Neither of us are weird, I can assure you of that. She's probably just having trouble finding the right word to describe us. No, I think I'll stop there. Wouldn't want her to think we're getting desperate.
Like I said, it's really creeping me out.
Uh-huh. Well,
You holding up okay, CLG? Sure you don't want to wait outside?
I'll be fine, Daddy. Just make sure you don't take your eyes off of him. He's so selfish and inconsiderate. I'm still not convinced he's actually a real FBI agent. Look, he's talking to himself again.
Zach, this is the ambiguous zero.
The deep freeze.
The deep freeze. Let's hurry up and find that flying serpent, shall we?
Okay then.
Good God almighty. This place always gives me goosebumps, no matter how many times I come here.
Yes, it's quite the fun house. Truly a dazzling place. Meat entertainment. That's the only way to describe it. Woven together by life, frozen in time, a visceral, musical...
Symphony. We eat all this in order to survive.
Yes, truly a symphony. Life and death, resonating together.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Cool. Whoa now, CLG. Since when were you interested in this kind of stuff?
What are you so surprised for, Daddy? I'm more mature than you are. I've seen way more realistic corpses on CSI, you know.
Oh, man.
At first, Zach, I was shocked by the notion of storing a victim's body alongside food. But as I gaze upon this hanging garden, I realize it's just another scene of violent, depraved murder. Yes. All we need to do is change our point of view, and things will expose themselves in utterly new ways.
Hey, Mr. York, this is kinda, yeah.
Melvin, if you have something to say, then just go on and say it. Otherwise, you'll simply be insulting this beautiful landscape.
You think this is beautiful?
Oh, yes. It's the abnormal world that supports our normal lives. I think that's wonderful. Don't you? Besides, look, Patricia seems to be handling this a lot better than you are.
Well, you see, I ain't too good with this grotesque stuff. Ugh.
Don't let it get to you, Daddy. Whew. Everyone has at least one thing they're afraid of.
Yeah.
Even you. Right, Agent York?
Something I'm afraid of?
Yeah, that's right. You gotta have at least one thing. Like clowns.
Clowns are so funny. How could anyone be scared of them?
Zombies.
Love them.
A bucket full of worms.
I could squeeze them with my bare hands.
The sound of screeching glass.
Doesn't bother me.
Then...
They cling to your skin like putrid leeches, robbing you of much more than your vitality. The wet socks.
Melvin, you're a genius.
Is he now? Oh, it's just the same model over and over again. Yeah.
Melvin, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you a personal question. In the hotel parking lot, when I first met you, the picture you had on your dashboard happened to catch my eye. Was that your wife?
Oh, her? Yeah, that's my lady, all right. Candy. Her name's Candy. The prettiest girl in town, which makes me the happiest boy. A shooting star landed in a rural town, right on top of a man who now has a meteor-struck heart.
You always keep her photo with you?
That's nice.
You bet I do. The truth is, Candy's a little sick right now. She can't even leave the house no more. So I always keep her photograph with me. Kinda feels like we're always together, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I see. You care for your wife a great deal. But this means that...
Yeah, that's right. My mama had me before she married Daddy. But it don't matter. He's still my real daddy to me.
Oh, thank you, CLG. And you're my pride and joy.
Well, Zach, isn't this a heartwarming scene? But there's one thing I just can't get out of my mind. Don't you think that photograph looked a bit too old? Perhaps Candy is already... No, let's not think about that. It might be a private matter, just like you, Zach.
Crazy.
Here we are, Zach.
The morgue.
The morgue. They stored the victim's body in a cold storage warehouse operated by her family. I'd love to shake the hand of whoever came up with that one.
Hey, Agent York. Did you just come here to laugh at rural officers who are doing the best they can? We don't have any special facilities like you people. What else did you expect us to do, huh? Don't compare us with city folk. This is Lucare. Or maybe you're just disappointed that you didn't get to see the bloated, decomposing corpse of a young girl.
Sorry, you're right. I went a bit too far just now. But don't misunderstand. I honestly think it's a fantastic idea. I'd never try and bully your daddy.
Better not.
Thank you for understanding.
I saw a shiny.
Zach, these are human footprints, and they're extremely large. Yes, Zach, I agree. These footprints must belong to someone who's used to walking around in cold temperatures. Look at the thermometer, Zach. It's at 10 degrees Fahrenheit, or a minus 12.2 degrees Celsius. This must not be the ambiguous zero. These pallets are a mess. Looks like this area isn't used often. Still, the idea to store a body here, it's a novel, sophisticated idea unlike anything I'd ever come up with. This frost is shaped like something we're very used to seeing. That's right, a body bag. Lisa's body must have been left here, but there are no signs that the bag was dragged away, so our criminal must possess monstrous strength. An icicle. Never thought I'd see one of these down in the South. Boxes that got left behind. I can't tell what's inside. What do you think, Zach? I'm gonna go with... okra. Yeah, okra. I'm sure it must be okra. That's a staple of the South. Boxes of the past or presents of the future. Either way, this is a curious time capsule.
Sure, Yak.
Forgotten boxes. Looks like shelled headless shrimp. When were these boxes brought here? And when will they be taken away? Zach, can you feel it? The perpetual, unstoppable flow of time. Zach, can you see that? Look closely. That's right. There are 4 imprints in the frost on the top of this. It's hard to believe, but I think these are fingerprints. Yes, Zach, that would lead one to believe that the body napper is a giant who's over 10 feet tall.
Aha! No, that's interesting.
Seems like our flying serpent isn't here. Is this everything, Melvin? There aren't any other rooms in this warehouse? No special rooms?
Well, there is the luxury foods warehouse.
Luxury foods? Why didn't you say so earlier?
Just thought you wanted to see where the body... I just thought you were only interested in warehouse number 2. Besides, it's underground, so it's even colder than this. You sure you really want to go down there? You could darn well freeze to death.
Well, I'm gonna take that risk.
All life will come to an end in the icebound zone.
You feel me?
Let's head there at once. I'm sure that must be where we're meant to go.
But what about searching for Lisa's body?
All we need to do is find a 10-foot tall man with monstrous strength. That giant knows where she is.
10 foot tall?
But finding the flying serpent is more important right now. Now please, guide me to the luxury foods warehouse at once. These luxury foods are most likely being used in local Cajun cuisine. I'm so excited to see what we'll find. Aren't you, Zach?
Uh-huh. I'm excited. Are you excited, guys?
A 10-foot tall giant? All right. Now that one's gotta be a joke. Right, Mr. York?
No. Why would it be? It's not a joke. It's a bee! A honeycomb bee.
That elevator needs a key, Mr. York.
You got the key or not?
Do you have one?
Actually, no. I didn't think you'd ever want to go down there. So I didn't bother to go and get one.
Well then, would you go and get one now?
Yeah. CLG, I know. I'll tell it to him straight. Thing is, Mr. York, you know the Clarksons? The folks who own this place?
Yeah.
Well, they don't too much like the police. And they sure as hell don't like them when they're my color. It was, real hard for me to get permission to open up this place for you to search through. So they ain't gonna be too happy if I go back to them now, asking for another key.
What should we do then?
Let's just find a worker here who can lower the elevator for us instead. All they need to do is take a break from their work for a couple minutes.
And what am I supposed to do? Just stand here and pretend like nothing's happening?
Yeah, you FBI folks are good at that, right? That's always what I see you doing on TV.
The elevator won't move without a key, but think you two can go and figure something out? I'll search around here in the meantime. I believe in you. I know they didn't make you a special agent for nothing.
Hey, you, give me a key.
Zach, I think we can move this. Better check back here as well, just to be on the safe side.
Is that a key? No, it's a black bass scale, of course. Of course. Get it.
Zack, the human ability to adapt is a frightening thing. Some humans have the power to sleep anywhere as long as they set their minds to it. Now we should be able to operate the elevator. No need to worry. This facility no longer has a body to steal. What else do they have to lose? A few cans of crawfish?
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for him, but it's for the sake of the investigation. I'll write him a letter of apology later.
How considerate. Crawfish shell. Got the key, guys.
Mr. York, did you find a key? Ha! Now that's my special agent. There ain't no stopping you.
Mm-hmm.
Want to head straight down?
You bet. Let's sally forth, Melvin. Zack, look at that thermometer. 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Or this is the ambiguous 0.
Great.
Hey, Avery!
He's huge.
Open the damn door, Avery! It ain't no use, Mr. York. Once Avery starts working on something, that's all he sees. He just tunes out everything else. We'll have to wait until he finishes and comes out to us, I reckon. Or we could come back tomorrow.
I disagree, Melvin. Time may be on our side, but that doesn't mean we should waste it. You gave me Mr. Alligator precisely for moments like these, didn't you?
Wait, Mr. York! Those tranquilizers may be non-lethal, but it's still dangerous to use them on humans.
Of course, Melvin. I never said I was going to shoot him.
You're gonna shoot some meat to get his attention. I'm right, ain't I?
Okay. Strange, but sure. God, it's just floating there.
This is Mr. York, an agent from the FBI.
Hi, Avery. I'm Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York.
York? You a smarty pants, huh?
Well, yeah.
He's shyer than he looks. Come on, just settle down, Avery. Tell him what this here place is for.
Lots of expensive food here. Yup. Mighty precious to the Clarksons, so I gotta guard it.
I see. So you're this area's keeper?
Oh, I help with the research too.
What research?
I do like research.
Research? What are you talking about, Avery? This doesn't look like a lab to me.
Oh, ain't no lab. It's a warehouse. Ain't no lab. Smarty pant scientist does the research. I ain't no smarty pants, you know?
He's a bit slow in the mind, but he ain't a bad guy. Oh. Your story about the giant who carried Lisa out. Don't tell me you think it's him. I mean, it's true that he's free to come and go as he pleases in this warehouse, but...
No, as far as I can tell, he's just a bit over 6'5". The one who moved Lisa's body must be at least 10 feet tall. He's clearly too short.
Too short, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you ever happen to find a man who makes him look small, I'd sure like to meet him.
Lise.
What? Hey, cut it out!
Lise? Why?
Avery, that's not Lise.
Not Lise?
This is Melvin's daughter, and my precious assistant. Unfortunately, Lise is no longer with us.
Lise! Lise! My fault! My fault!
I guess he's sort of like Lise, you know? See, the poor fella's got himself a childlike mind. You know how normal kids tease other kids in order to get attention? Well, with this big lug, sometimes folks who don't know him too well see something and end up calling the police. But I know that deep down, he's got a good heart. Hey, Mr. York, I'll keep him busy, but I'd appreciate it if you'd hurry this particular inspection along. Just holler at me if you find anything. I reckon that'll make it easier for you to go do your thing, yeah?
Melvin, I think you're finally starting to catch on.
Time to find that serpent.
Frozen oysters. Personally, I'd rather have a cocktail filled with fresh ones. We hunt for more materials than we can eat, and freeze them over long periods of time. The human race gives terror a whole new meaning. Cans of Holy Trinity paste. Onions, bell peppers, and celery. The absolute basics for any Cajun dish. This product combines them all into some sort of paste. Oof, people actually buy this garbage? Even the name sounds idiotic. Zach, I just made an eternal promise with myself. If I ever happen to come across any food prepared with this paste, I vow to never call it Cajun food. There are torn off claws and legs scattered all over the ground. I doubt they'll fly anytime soon. I can't tell which ones are from crawfish and which parts are from shrimp. How about you, Zach? Avery, this box looks special.
Clarkson food. For their home.
Melvin, is this the Clarksons' family crest?
Oh, the dragonfly?
Dragonfly is a flying snake.
Yeah, that's the Clarksons' mark, all right. Ain't no big deal, though. You can find those all over town.
Is that so?
Well, yeah. They pretty much run all of this town's major industries. Yeah. I do believe they own just about everything there is to own. So their word is law. They got the whole darn town tattooed with their dragonflies. Can't even walk a few steps without seeing one.
Zach, this dragonfly is our flying serpent. The flying serpent owns this town. They're related to Lise Clarkson, our victim. And Hungan's oracle pointed us toward their family crest. The Clarksons must be deeply intertwined with this case.
Yeah. Seeing as the victim was a Clarkson.
Melvin, Patricia, I think I've had enough of this frozen world. Let's head back out to that merciless sun. Well, what are you waiting for? I can't bear to spend another second down here.
Great investigation, York. As always. I love how the loading screen just freezes up when it's done loading. It's almost like it crashes every time it tries to load anything. This is the best.
Whew. So, what do we do now, Mr. York?
Zach and I will take things from here.
Then what should I do?
Tend to your sick wife? I don't know. You're free to do as you please. I'll stop by the sheriff's office when I need your help again.
I suppose that's what I'll do then. It'll sure make Candy happy. But I am the sheriff of this town, so I do intend to get some work done. I know. How about I search for Lisa's body while you're busy?
Not a bad idea. Just be careful that you don't get attacked by a barefooted giant.
Hey, don't scare me like that. Why do you keep talking about that giant anyway? You really think some giant was responsible for all this?
Melvin, don't be silly. Of course I do. Just when I thought you were starting to catch on. Disappointing, to say the least.
But how can you be so sure? I want to see some proof.
Proof number one. The footprints that led up to where Lisa's body originally was were made with bare feet. None of the prints looked similar to those of common insulated boots, and the arches of the feet were visible. The person who carried out Lisa's body must have had very large feet. I'd say they were at least 16 inches. Proof number two. I found fingerprints on the cord of one of the hanging lights in the warehouse. The fingerprints weren't aimed up from below. They were coming directly from the side. Clearly, the giant moved the light because it was in his way. He pinched the cord with his fingers. Proof number three. There was nothing else found in the vicinity where Lisa's body was stored. This means the giant carried her out without dragging her across the floor. But there's only one set of footprints. The only conclusion I can draw from this evidence is that a barefooted giant standing over 10
perfect
feet
sense.
tall carried Lisa's body out. That concludes the entirety of my proof. Any objections, Melvin?
But there ain't no way a human could ever be that tall.
Have you seen every human alive with your own eyes? Well then, you need to forget all your preconceived notions when embarking on an investigation. Whether you come face to face with a 10-foot giant or a skeletal gentleman, you always need to accept everything that comes to you with a clear mind. Do that, and eventually the truth will reveal itself to you. You're a smart kid, I'm sure you understand.
Well, I'll be damned. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Mr. FBI Special Agent, sir. a sharp eye, and flawless observational skills. Uncovering the truth with a heady intuition. I won't ever question you again. Heck, I'll do whatever you say.
That's it, Melvin. I'm glad you finally caught on. Okay, time to go, Patty. You know this town well, so I'd like you to accompany me from now on.
Patty?
Zach, we found the flying serpent. Now we simply need to locate the 10 maidens. It's time to head on to Alexis's Diner and Lane.
And we'll do that next time. This game runs like shit and it's whipped beyond measure. I love it. I can't wait to play more. And I will probably do so tomorrow. At the same place as always. CactusKris on Twitch. All my streams re-uploads go to my gameplay channel, CactusKris FM. Check out my main channel, CactusKris, for game reviews and other opinion pieces. Follow me on Twitter, CactusKris_. And I'll see you next time. Swery, you're a goddamn genius and this game is a mess. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.